Hello everyone, my name is Pacha and welcome back to another episode of Raven Creek Park. And today we're gonna change the format a little bit in two ways. Basically, for one, we are not building for an actual animal that is in the game. We are building today two, you have me right, two implied habitats, one for the bald eagle and later on one for the alligator snapping turtle. So both animals we don't have in game, and yeah, we will do an implied habitat for them because they were highly requested for the wetlands area, and I also think they just fit into this theming right away. So since we don't have them, why not imply them? And the second thing we want to talk about today, we will not go as massively in depth into the whole building process here, and I'll explain stuff about the animals, stuff about what I'm building, why I'm building. I want to use this video today to talk about the latest DLC announcement, latest Planet Zoo DLC news that was released or was announced. If you're watching this video when I released the video on Wednesday, on Monday we got information about the next Planet Zoo DLC, and I just want to talk about it. I talked already about it, that I want to do that on in the Monday announcement video, and that I want to give my honest opinion about this DLC, and in this video, and I will do that. But first of all, as I said, a few words about this build that we have today. As I said, bald eagle and alligator snapping turtle, and we start with the bald eagle habitat here. And you might be wondering why I don't do any netting or any cage or stuff like that, and that is because in the US it is common that the bald eagles that are in zoos, that are captive, are usually rescues from the wild. So animals that got injured, animals that got orphaned at a young age, stuff like that, that can't survive on their own. And with most of these bald eagles, it's the case that they lost their ability to fly, so they can't fly anymore, they can't hunt or escape predators, so they have to be taken in because of, it's the national symbol of America. They have a very special heart, very special place in the heart of the Americans, so they get some extra love and care. And that is the case also for the bald eagle we have here in our zoo. It's a rescue that can't fly anymore, so we don't need any netting, any cages to contain it, because it can't fly away. It won't never be able to fly again. It can be contained in an open exhibit, and this is something that isn't really uncommon for eagle exhibits, especially for rescued eagle exhibits, that they are open top, because it gives the animals a little bit more freedom, a little bit more fresh air, and the guests a bit of a more open view to the animal, and they don't have to look at it from behind bars. As I said, later we build a little bit of a pond for the alligator snapping turtle, and we also create a bit of a plaza near the raccoon exhibit, but you will see that in the speed build then. And just to basically fill out and finish up this area. It is not completely finished, there's still some little things and bits that I have to do, but animal wise we are then moving on from this area to a different part in the zoo, and I'm already, what a great way to go over into the DLC, because of most likely the next area we will tackle on will be a petting zoo area. If you haven't heard the news yet, our 17th DLC for Planet Zoo was announced just this Monday on World Day. It will be the Barnyard Animal DLC. Coming with 7 new animal species. I tried to get them all from my head now. We are getting the Sussex chicken, the Highland cattle, and then we're getting the American standard donkey, the Alpine goat, and then one breed of sheep and one breed of pigs, which I can't remember anymore what the specific breed was, but it was a very British breed. And alongside this, we are not only getting 7 animals, we are also getting 60 new pieces in more of this rustic, barnyard, Wild West theming, which is, I think, very cool. But let's talk about this, because also with the thought in mind that this might be the last DLC. I know some people still don't want to really think about it, but this might be the last DLC. Frontier is starting to focus on a new game this year. The console release happened, and there's many hints. And if you want to have more information, I think also Rudy Rankamel made an awesome video about why this might be the last year for Planet Zoo, and why this might be the last DLC for this game. And yeah, with that in mind, with that background of this being maybe the last DLC, I have to say myself, and this is, I think, something I usually never do, it is a very strange decision. Let's talk about this with two different scenarios in mind. One is that this is the last DLC, and that after that Planet Zoo will most likely slowly end after some minor updates and bug fixes. And secondly, that isn't the last DLC, and we are still having one more DLC upcoming, and yeah. But let's talk about if this is the last DLC that we ever get for the PC version of Planet Zoo before, and eventually in Planet Zoo 2 and somewhat in the future, then having this Barnyard DLC as the last DLC is, I think, not the right move to make. I know the Barnyard, Petting Zoo, whole stuff was highly requested for years now, and people wanted to have Petting Zoo animals because they are very common, especially in European zoos. Petting zoos are in every zoo basically, and possibilities to have a close encounter with typical farm animals is something very, very much rooted into European zoo culture. So it's no wonder that people asked for that. But still, especially when we consider this is the last DLC, and that there are still so many animals out there that people have been asking for years, only saying, yeah, Coati here, or Secretary Birds, Shoebill, stuff like that, or more monkeys, Columbus monkey, howler monkey, spider monkeys, so animals we have been asking for years to get, especially from South America, then giving us Barnyard Animal DLC as the last DLC, it just doesn't feel right. And I know Frontier is not at a good time at the moment. They have problems with their whole layoffs, with the whole financial stuff, with their people going, and they have to hire new people for their jobs. I know it's not a good time, and that things are complicated right now, but still, this DLC wasn't developed only after the layoffs. It was already in development when the old team was still there. And I know the old team is not really a full team, it's more of a skeleton crew, because a lot of them are already on different projects, and Planet Zoo is basically on the back burner right now. But still, we had some amazing DLCs in the past still with the skeleton crew, like the Eurasia pack, or like the Oceania pack, and then we getting, I mean, it's still a nice DLC, not gonna lie. I love the DLC itself. I'm happy about it. I can't wait to build my barnyard, my petting zoo area in Raven Creek. But still, I know why so many people are, having mixed feelings about it, because it just feels weird as a last DLC. And I can understand it. I agree with that. And I would have, I think, gone for something different for the last DLC, even if it would have just been 8 or 5 animals and then some pieces that they already have made or something like that. Nothing really spectacular, but animals that the community really wished for, especially in the meta wish list and stuff like that. Now, let's talk about if it isn't the last DLC. If that means nothing is confirmed. First of all, it is neither confirmed that it is the last DLC, nor is it confirmed that it isn't the last DLC. We don't know anything. We have a lot of speculation, but we have also a lot of points or a lot of hints that hint toward this being the last DLC. But as long as Frontier doesn't say anything themselves, and I highly doubt they will, but as long as they don't confirm themselves, yeah, this is the last DLC, we can speculate all we want, and we can say all we want. It isn't confirmed, and we have to wait for the next 3 months to see if there will be another DLC after that, or if they just simply stop with doing DLCs and move on. But as I said, if it isn't the last year, so if that means that this was just a DLC for spring, and then we get one bigger DLC, maybe one last DLC, because I don't think we will get more than one more down the line in summer, or something at some point in summer or after late summer, then I'm totally fine with this DLC. Then I'm totally happy with this DLC, because I said it is something the community wished for a very long time, especially the new petting mechanics that they add with the free update 1.17, so that guests can enter a habitat and they can pet the animals, give them something imaginary food to feed. Really cool, really lot of new animations and ways to make a habitat with guests in mind now. that they just don't only go through the habitat, but they actually interact with the animals. That is really cool. Then if it isn't the last DLC, then I'm totally happy about this DLC, because it is really something really cool. Some of the animal choices I'm not so happy about. For example, the alpine goat for me is too similar to the ibex, and I would prefer the ibex over alpine goat every time. I would have just to choose some different animals for that. Same for the donkey, the American standard donkey. I know the Somali wild ass isn't a donkey, but it is looking very closely to it. It looks very much alike, so the American donkey and the alpine ibex I would have switched out. Maybe for turkey, someone suggested a turkey would have been really cool, especially because it has also a very cultural important impact, or something like a rabbit, bunny, maybe a duck species, since we got the swan, the mute swan last DLC, so a smaller waterfowl species with a duck species, which are also found in petting zoo areas, would have been, for my opinion, much cooler in that thing. Other animal choices like the alpaca, the chicken, and especially the Highland cow. I love Highland cows. They're so amazing. Chickens are always cool and nice to fill out small areas. And alpacas are just the cutest. I have a fondness for cute animals, but yeah. As I said, if it isn't the last DLC, I'm happy about it. Then I'm feeling better. I should say I'm feeling better. With my gut feeling is better than. If it is the last DLC, then I don't know. I think they made the wrong decision. At the moment, it is, especially when I got the news about the DLC. For anyone who doesn't know, I got the news a bit earlier, since last Friday. I knew about what the DLC would be, because Frontier was so kind and amazing to give me a little bit of early access to all the information about what we can expect, so I can make some content for you guys. And since then, when I got the news, I was really surprised. I was reading the emails that I got, and I saw the title of the DLC, and I was hella surprised about the title, because it was nothing what we expected. We expected something focusing on South America, or on the Americas, so North and South America together, or all-time favorites pack from the community wish list, where all the most requested animals would be in there, something like that, something spectacular, because as I said, we expect this to be the last DLC. And then I see the title Barnyard Animal Pack, and I also see, okay, we get animals plus pieces, something very new, that we get 7 animals and pieces, which also hints towards this being a final pack, because they never did this before. But I instantly knew, okay, this will split the community. This will cause some major discussions, and maybe some I don't know, not hate, but maybe disappointment inside the community. And it happened. We see it now. I mean, it is positive. It is more people from what I've seen outside of Discord or the forums really like the idea. They are really happy about the DLC, but of course there are also people that don't like it, and there's also a big majority that just thinks this is a wasted spot. I would say, and I'm with Rudy Renkamel on this one. If this DLC would have come out, I don't know, a year earlier or 2 years earlier, no one really would have complained. But now in this situation that we are in right now, it just feels like, I felt like I missed an April Fool's joke firstly, and I wasn't sure, is this a real announcement, or is this something just a late April Fool's joke from Frontier, and they're actually doing something completely different, something completely big and amazing. But then I slowly realized, okay, no, this is the wrong DLC. But on the plus side, I have to say, immediately after that, I started getting ideas for what I wanted to do with the animals. I immediately knew, okay, I want to build that, I want to build this, I want to design the area in that way. And this is something I never happened with me with any of the previous DLCs. Of course, for 1 or 2 animals in the DLC, I knew, okay, I want to have them in that area of Raven Creek or a different zoo, and I want to build in that style or something like that, because I saw a real-life example of that. But never for the whole DLC, never for all of the animals, and for some animals, it's still to this day, it's a little bit hard for me to find a real inspiration or an idea to what I do with them. But with this pack, I immediately know what I wanted to build. I immediately know what I wanted to yeah, what I wanted all of the exhibits for the animals to look like, and how I wanted to design them, how I wanted to make the whole area there in feel. And that is something I think we also should acknowledge. By the way, the amazing props of the turtle and the eagle are made by Drag, and I've tried to link them down in the description of this video. I hope I don't forget it, but yeah, he made these amazing animals out of in-game pieces, which is crazy. But yeah, I think the ability for this pack to makes it very easy. This pack makes it very easy to create stuff with it and to create areas with it, and they're not hard to do. I mean, everyone can build a petting zoo area. There's nothing very complicated like an elephant house or a monkey's climbing area. Anyone can build a coop for a chicken, because everyone has most likely seen a chicken coop in his life, or has seen a cattle cattle pen. I don't know what the right word for it is in his life. Petting zoos aren't highly complicated themed areas. They can be themed, but they're not highly. There's nothing very highly about, nothing too complicated about it. No complicated buildings, no complicated habitat designs. They are very simple, and that I think makes it very much open for all ages and for all kinds of players who just want to play this game. It makes it accessible for them, and I think this is a great thing, that everyone can pick up this pack and can start building with it, and can build a small barnyard area or petting zoo area, and already has some very nice and very cool stuff in his zoo or in his park. And I will keep my final thoughts or my final opinion on this to see once I get my hands on it, once I can play with it and see all the pieces, all the animals in action, stuff like that. So next week, when I will go over everything in my information videos, my showcase videos, I will also give you my opinion on if the animals are good, if the pieces are good, stuff like that. So you already know how this works. But yeah, I will leave you now to the rest of the speed build. I think it's only a couple minutes now, or a couple seconds, and then I see you in the real-time part at the end of the speed build. Okay, here we are now in the real-time part, and we are standing in front of one of the entrances to the swamp area. You might remember that from the tour video. And yeah, now we have this little hut here, which is of course the backstage indoor area for the bald eagle in case of bad weather, in case of cold weather. And we also have our first viewing area to this little habitat. Really something just simple, as I said. The animal itself is made by the amazing Drag out of in-game pieces, and I think it for what it's worth, it looks amazing. But yeah, super simple habitat, just a land area, some sticks and other wood over here for the animal to rest in and to climb a little bit around and about. And if we follow the path to the restaurant, we get to the more bigger viewing area where you get a whole view over the whole habitat, and this is also connected to the central lake and then fenced off a little bit. So we also have some water areas here and a little bit of feeding place for the bald eagle sitting in his nest. I don't know, I think there is a specific word for the eagle's nest, but yeah, at least in German there is. But I don't know if it is one in English as well. But yeah, moving on. Really not that much showed today, as I said, just two implied habitats, so there's no much going on over here. And I forgot to press pause again. So now we are in the moving Planet Zoo. But yeah, another viewing area over here. A little bit of a shadowy place if you want to stay in the shadow. And yeah, that's basically it about the bald eagle habitat. But if we move on from here, we of course have our gator area to the left. And we have this new plaza, I would call it, point where you can meet up with friends or with the tour group. We have this new place here, and we have this little exhibit for the alligator snapping turtle, an animal that mostly lives their whole life in the water, but of course they can come up and on land, and also the keepers has to get in. And then we have this area here where the keepers can just just walk over the fence, can jump over the fence or climb over the fence, and then they can come up here, get to the turtle and care for it. And yeah, that's already it. With that, only this space over there, there's a space over there that is still missing some stuff, but otherwise this area is basically finished. Just with that, some minor things, some small details and signs here and there, but I already started to do that, as you can see here. But then I think this will be one of my first finished areas so far, and yeah, I'm really happy about it. And I want to ask you, but before we go back to this area, because I really like how this habitat turned out. Yeah, I want to ask you what you think about this area, what you maybe would add in the future if there are more plans to do more stuff. And then also I want to ask you what your opinions are on the new Barnyard Animal Pack DLC, if you like it, if you will buy it or not, and what maybe your favorite animal is from the DLC. And yeah, then I wish you a great rest of the week. I hope you enjoyed this little video and my little rant about the DLC, and then I hope I see you in the next video again. And until then, you stay safe, and I say goodbye, everyone.